Okay, almost ready. Juan Carlos, can you see us? Can you guys listen to me on Facebook? Okay, great. Yes, I am recording and everyone is listening now on Facebook. I'm going to go back again to our PowerPoint slide. Sorry about the delay. Okay, so let's continue. So I was telling you that this is just a brief summary on some suggestions on where to find or good sources of these vitamins, but this is also included in the DNA Health and Wellness Recommendations report and also on your 30 days actionable plan. So there's many ways of getting this information. You can also look it up on yourself. Just be careful. What sources do you use? Try to make it trustworthy source. I like to use a lot of the government informations or sites, the educational or the agricultural websites, the nutritional or the health sites are also fine. Just don't believe everything that you see on Facebook. Don't believe everything that you see on SlideShare, because you might get some wrong facts. Okay, so for vitamin A, we can find it in two forms: animal-based in the form of retinol and plant-based in beta-carotene. So either both forms will be transformed into vitamin A in the end. So it will just take some different biochemical processes in your body, in your liver, and then in your gastrointestinal process. And in the end, the body will subtract the vitamin A. But these two forms are not important for us. We can get it from many vegetables and fruits, as you can see on your left. We can also get it in the animal base, like poultry, eggs, dairy products. Either way are good. As I mentioned you before, the deficiency of this vitamin can cause you some poor night vision and in some severe cases, blindness. The excess of vitamin A has also been associated to some birth defects. Of course, I'm talking about the excess of vitamin A, 5 times the normal daily intake that it's recommended. So this is, even though it has been associated, it's very rare to find someone with excess of vitamin A. Always try to look for a very diverse diet, plenty in colors, like to be rich in different colors. The more colors in the fruits and vegetables, the more different colors you have, that means that you'll get enough of each and every vitamin and minerals. Good sources of B complex vitamins. This is present in many natural products or goods. And this will have a direct impact, as I told you, on your neurological system. What does this mean? It's going to be involving energy levels, brain function, cell metabolism. It's also involved in the connection between neurons and cells. It has the electric impulses. Sometimes some pains are because of lack or deficiency of B complex, because B complex help form a cushion to the neurological cells. And this cushion, as I like to call it, in the neurological cells, help each and every cell to communicate or to connect. Without this cushion, sometimes one cell after another cannot send the right message or the right energy in the right flow, and that can trigger sometimes some pain. The following symptoms may be sign that you're not getting enough vitamin B, some skin rashes, some cracks and scaly skin on the lips, fatigue and weakness, and also some numbness on your fingers. Good sources of folate or folic acid. Folate is the natural compound that is found on food, and folic acid is the synthetic form of this vitamin. Okay, so in many countries, due to the relationship or the findings that the women who had low reserves of folic acid were the ones who had higher impact or higher comorbidities related in pregnancy with a neurological system. In many countries, they made this state or federal law to add folic acid to cereals, flour, breads, and pasta. So this you don't have to worry too much if you're not in pregnancy. It has some important functions, but you can get it enough if you have a rich and diverse diet. And of course, it is not to say that if you're going into pregnancy or you're planning to get pregnant, then it's very important for you to have an extra dose or extra amount of folic acid, because the consequences of not having right amount of folic acid in pregnancy is that you're not going to have a correct development of the baby's neural tube, and the baby's neural tube is the first step of the spine. After the neural tube is formed, that gives birth to the spine cord and the brain and all the neurological system. So we're talking about something very sensitive here, and that's why many OB-GYNs or obstetricians have been trying to reinforce this precautious measure by giving some extra folic acid to pregnant women or girls or women who are going or are planning to start a family. On your right side, you can see some vegetables and some fruits that are rich on folic acid. But as I mentioned, you can also find it on cereals and flour. Fluor, sorry. So what about vitamin D? As I was telling you, it's needed for the absorption of calcium. Remember that it doesn't matter if we're taking some extra calcium. If we have low reserves of vitamin D, then the calcium cannot stick to our bones, and therefore we're going to have decreased or loss in the density of the bone structure, and we can have easily break our bones and have some other consequences. We can get vitamin D from the diet or from direct sunlight or from supplements. It doesn't matter where the vitamin D is coming. What we have to make sure is that the vitamin D, it's coming to our bodies, right? So in some northern Europe and in Canada, in those countries where the summer, it's only a couple of months and the winter takes longer periods, people are starting to go into UV machines to get an extra amount of UV dose, because we have seen the connection between, or we have discovered that in these countries that have 8 months of winter where the sun doesn't show, they have lower amounts of vitamin D, and this is causing a lot of bone structure problems or osteoporosis in some cases because of the lack of adherence of calcium to the bones. This is it for today. As I mentioned to you on the DNA Health and Wellness report, we provide some extensive advice and recommendations on what to take, the do's and don'ts. But this was the first approach for all of you to understand very easy the importance of the micronutrients. What are micronutrients? What happens if we don't take them? Then I also mentioned you about the DNA Health and Wellness part, where it's focusing on the micronutrients for you to know like a little bit more why we included this part on the test, why it's important for us. If we cannot resolve or if we cannot answer the why of something, there's no point of doing it, okay? So that's why I'm trying to share with you some of my thoughts. Well, not my thoughts, my knowledge, whatever I have gathered, and I can pass it on to you. And just remember, you are what you eat. So try to engage into active lifestyle. And I'm going to open the chat so we can try and have some 5 minutes of chat before we end the session, okay? So feel free to ask if you have something that need to go deeper, or should I reinforce on something that I didn't mention. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see. Yes, I am recording. Yes, I'm guessing Juan Carlos. I'm going to have this presentation in Spanish tomorrow, so you can see it or share it. I'm going to give the same presentation in Spanish tomorrow morning, 8 p.m., 8 a.m. Standard Pacific time. You can see it on Facebook. Let's see some other questions on Facebook. Let me just go back. Just check the time to make sure that according to the time difference, you're going to see it. If not, you can also, we're going to post it on Facebook, like the rest of the seminars. You can just look it over there. Okay, I guess, yeah, this was a pretty simple session. There's nothing else to explain. I guess everyone is satisfied. I'm happy to see that the audience is growing weekly or day by day. I'm not sure what's the next topic on for the next week, but I'll be informing you. Just let me cross-check. Let me see how is going to be my trip schedule. We have some trips coming ahead. We're going to visit some offices. So after that, I will post you what's the next topic, and we'll see you next week. I'm hoping that I have answered some of your concerns about the test. Have a good night or good morning in the other part of the world. Bye.